And this was just a silly parody. I think they just need to brush it off.
So despite rumors, he and Meghan Markle are not going to be taking legal action against South Park for their recent episode. The representative for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex told Us Weekly, it's all frankly nonsense, totally baseless, boring reports. So this was, of course, last week, Comedy Central did a South Park episode titled Worldwide Privacy Tour, and it focused on some fictional characters, the Prince of Canada and his wife, as they moved to a made-up Colorado town. They went on this, privacy tour and things like that. So it was definitely a poking fun at the Prince and at the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. But do you feel like they should have taken some legal action in this?
I don't think so. I think when you open yourself up to things like this, when you share these sorts of personal stories and you're opening yourself up in this way to the public and sharing these sorts of things, it's a parody at the end of the day. And when you put yourself out there like this, when you're already a big public figure, you should be prepared for all sorts of reactions, whether they're positive or negative or parodies. And this was just a silly parody. I think they just need to brush it off.
Yeah. Do we feel like people are kind of over it when it comes to Harry and Meghan, at least with this narrative, I guess?
Yeah, I think when people think of royalty, these are not the stories that they want to be hearing about. And especially when it's so frequent, I think with royal stories, to have it like shoved in your face every day, all day with these different things, especially when the stories are quite ridiculous, I think people get sick of it very quickly. They just like to see the pretty important stories of the royals doing nice things and then them going back to being low-key for a few days until the next one comes out.
Yeah, I think Charlie's right that we're seeing an interesting shift where Harry and Meghan are almost separate from royal news, although they are, tangentially connected to the royal family still, and a lot of their stories are royal related. People are starting to view them as almost like a separate celebrity entity. And Charlie, I'm sure you're seeing some of that in how you interact with, on social media. I think that's a great way to sort of check the pulse on what people are thinking.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even like some of the language that people use when they're talking about them, I think when people talk about royals, they tend to be a lot more reserved and maybe a bit more formal, maybe not as forward when they're expressing some of their opinions about the royals. But then with Harry and Meghan, I think they've differentiated themselves so much, whether that's a good or bad thing, probably not as good as differentiation can be. I think people have definitely got a different attitude towards them now.
For more news content and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.